What's up, cock fiddlers? Welcome back to the Avarice Podcast. I'm Devin. You can hear the coffee brewing in the background. Already got the bowl loaded on the coffee table. We're going to do commentary on the movie The Strangers from 2008 this evening. If you've never listened to the podcast before, I branch out a little bit, but for the most part, I've been doing these movie commentaries. I play a movie, comment over it, make jokes, voices, and basically just all improv off the top of my head what I'm seeing as I'm watching the film. Unless it's something that has a deep lore that goes along with the narrative, then I might explain that as I'm going along. This one will not be that. I really do like this movie, so I'll be fanboying out a little bit. I might take the piss out of it some, because I know that even though overall it's a great horror entry, especially for the modern age, it does have some, like, what the fuck, cut the shit moments in it. And when you're just watching the movie silently, those pass by with a much greater ease than they do when you're trying to record a commentary and you feel obligated to be speaking over the entire course of the film. When shit like that pops up, it's really hard to not just be like, what the fuck? Why did that happen? So yeah, that's where we are with it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you may be listening to it on SoundCloud. I'm available on those platforms, Spotify. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Avarice Podcast, on everything. Excuse me. I've been doing a very bad job of getting that information out there. Normally, I've been putting it at the very end of the podcast or video, which is much less likely to get seen or heard. Let's be honest. Oh. So I've been working diligently on trying to improve the visual component for the YouTube audience. So if you're a strictly RSS podcast feed, this isn't really for you, but for the YouTube audience, I've really been trying to up my game and give you something that's actually somewhat interesting or thought-provoking to look at while the commentary is taking place. And I've been trying to do a better job of making the image, at least as much as I can, relate to what I'm talking about. Now, I don't have, like, it's damn near impossible to make it a brand new image every 5 seconds and have it be exactly on point with what I'm talking about. So there is some repetitiveness in there. But if you watch my most recent one on The Shining, I think the production value is much higher than anything else I've done. But I did these transitions between the frames, and I think that the transitions actually shortened the length of the frame itself for any given picture, and that threw the timing off for where the pictures actually change and where I intended them to change. So I watched a little bit of it, and the correlation between the image and the audio gets lost very quickly. It was actually kind of disappointing given how much effort I put into it, but it's probably my best one that I've put out so far. So I'll keep going along with that. I actually think that I might go back through some of my older ones that I know aren't up to snuff, where the video component is just not good. They're blurry images. It's just basically a repetitive loop, not necessarily anything related to what I'm saying or the movie itself at that given point in the runtime. So I think I might go back and start with Halloween 1 and redo the video part and repost it as a version 2 or something like that. And then I'd work through the Halloween series and just go through all my commentaries and get them up to a level production and quality-wise that I'm more comfortable with. When I first started doing this, it was just thrown together. It was just to get it out. I was just trying it, just seeing. It was all brand new, figuring it out as I went. So along the way, as I've gotten the process more streamlined and the certain aspects of it become old hat and kind of ingrained, I can do them subconsciously. That frees up my conscious mind and my creative mind to think about new and interesting things that I can do within those confines. So, as I mentioned on my last one, until I get some really, premium video editing software and get more time on my hands, and time is money. So, until all those things are situated, I'm doing the best I can. It's not what my dream. It's not perfection, but it's a far sight better than it was when I first started. And that is all you can hope for, is that improvement process. This is getting to where I'm like waxing poetic and sounded like a douchebag. Anyway, I am sitting here at my coffee table. I'm going to take a few pulls off the old water pipe here. And after that, I will give you a countdown that I'm starting the film in case you want to watch along with me. Otherwise, just sit tight. You can shove your thumb up your butt, pick your nose, get that last bit of earwax. Maybe you have some tuna fish stuck in your teeth, popcorn kernel. Oh, excuse me. Maybe you got ballsy and you were chewing some gum and one of your crowns came off and you're going to try to pop it back on with your hands. Just keep yourself occupied for the next 2, 3. We'll be back in 2 and 2, like Chuck Woolery, and then we'll start the movie. Okay. Also, The Shining commentary got hit with a copyright complaint for an audio match, even though the timestamp that they listed, I have listened to the audio that they claim the match exists in, and I can't hear any of the movie, so I disputed it, and they upheld it, which I thought was odd because that never happens, and at least not to me. So I have appealed that, which is the first time I've ever tried to appeal a dispute that was upheld, which is a little bit more skin in the game. I'm extending myself a little bit more. And as a result of that, if they don't agree with my appeal and they decide to uphold their claim again, I will receive a copyright strike, and the Shining video will be taken down automatically. So if you listen to this and you're like, what the fuck, man, there's no Shining video on your channel, that's what happened. So in that event, I would probably do my best to try to get it reposted after some editing and some software had gone through it, and try to get those matches taken out, because I imagine that it would be pretty frowned upon to receive a copyright strike for a video and then to repost almost the exact same video shortly thereafter and get another copyright claim. That probably is not a good look. So I realized that I went on this big whole thing about the Shining commentary, and by the time this gets posted, it might not even be up on my channel anymore, and people might be like, what the fuck, dude? In the true spirit of the Shining film, it's here today, gone tomorrow. It's like a revolving door. It's ever changing. It evolves. You don't know what it is. Ha ha! Saw Stuber with my wife over the weekend, just because there was nothing else out that we really wanted to see as a couple. We saw the original release of The Lion King back when we were kids. Not really too into that. Saw the original release of Aladdin back when we were kids. Don't care. And unfortunately, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood doesn't come out until next weekend, which we really would have liked to see. But Stuber wasn't bad. It's not a particularly deep or enthralling plot. There's not a lot of twists and turns. It doesn't really keep you on your toes, but it is funny and kind of, cutesy, whatever. It wasn't bad. It was a fine date movie. By the end, though, I found myself going like, okay, I'm about ready to, let's pack it in. I'm good. Hello, my name is Danny Boy, and I like to drink at night. Come on, yeah! I wish I could do that louder, but everybody else in my house is asleep. And while I have a reasonably sprawled out house, and I managed to do this without waking them up generally, yelling Kamehameha at the top of my lungs probably would do the job. Okay, so pick up your remote controller or your Google Glasses or your Neuralink or whatever the fuck it is you use to interact with the technology around you, and prepare to start the film. I am pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. There's always a slight delay. I really should figure out a way to incorporate that in the countdown. God damn, you're just gonna start with noises and shit, put me on the edge of my seat right away, get my skin crawling with that. Dark red imagery and lightning. You're trying to set a tone here and make me feel a certain way before we even get into the business. This looks like some knockoff Halloween font right here. I'm not gonna lie. It's basically Halloween font. It's very close. Is inspired by true events. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Inspired by true events is such a cop-out. It's like we heard a story that might be true and we exaggerated it a lot. Yeah, it's an estimate. You don't know. Why does it sound so quiet? And oh, I have the EQ on my fucking amplifier all jacked. That's right. I was watching something that didn't sound right earlier and I started fucking with it. Now the James Earl Jones voice sounds like it has no balls. James Earl Jones got throat cancer, God forbid. It's like if you're a pro wrestling fan, especially from back in like the 80s, you know Bobby the Brain Heenan, and he was this big, larger-than-life, boisterous character. He was sharp and quick, and he was fucking hilarious. And then he gets throat cancer. He's a tiny little shriveled version of what he used to be, and he can barely speak. The wit's still there. He's still quick, but he doesn't have the exuberance he had before. He doesn't have the presence. It's one of those tragedies in my mind that he goes like, that was his thing and he was the best at it, and it's just gone, and now he has to walk the world being the guy who used to be Bobby the Brain Heenan. It's okay if you were never Bobby the Brain Heenan, but to have been Bobby the Brain Heenan and now barely be able to speak but still have the same mind, that'd be fucked up. Anywho, these Jehovah's Witness kids, it must be casual Friday, they're not wearing ties. So this is supposed to be one of the Jehovah's Witness kids on the telephone calling 911. This isn't the actual 911 call, right? Oh. Inspired by true events. So basically what happened is, you know, that they went to a party, he proposed, she said no, and they went home, and the next day they were found how they were found. Are you filling in all the blanks in between? It's a very creative story. I fucking hate that. For those of you who don't know, I deliver newspapers 4 days a week. I have for a long time. And there's damn near nothing I hate more than sitting at a fucking red light that will not change when there is nobody around for a half mile in every direction. I always feel like the time I decide to run it is the time that I'm gonna get pulled over the first time I try it. And what is my defense gonna be? It wouldn't change. It wasn't changing. Like, how do you prove that it was? Do you take like a video selfie? I think that's illegal too. Can't win no matter what you do. Liv Tyler does look pretty cute in this. She's got like that, been through some shit, has some life experience and knowledge, will have a couple beers with you and get down and dirty, might suck your dick in the barn if she's feeling randy, probably has some good wife skills, definitely wants you to buy her a minivan. I'm not complaining. It works. I can handle it. It's not the worst thing in the world. So if I remember right, this is like his dad's cabin or something. Or his parents' house. He must have been super confident that she was going to say yes when he proposed. Because there's no way he even considered what it was going to be like to come back to this house together if she said no. That's why they fire you on a Friday. Like... It's the weekend, everything, give time to cool off. You're used to being off the next couple days anyway. Also, why payday's Friday? Because they know that they're going to hand you that money and you're going to go get fucked up and not be able to come to work the next day. I know. Don't try to... Can't bullshit a bullshitter. I know what your steez is. Oh, Jesus. With the rose petals, dude. He's an interesting character. Seems like kind of a little bitch, if I'm being honest, which may be why she said no. This whole layout and setup right here, I guess if she had said yes, it would have been so perfect and she would have thought it was so adorable. But it's kind of like the, like a chick's fantasy of what an engagement and shit would be like. Like, this is so overboard. If he did this for a proposal, he has made her many a mixtape. You just have bottles of champagne stashed all over the house? What was your fucking... He's treating this place like it's a Vegas suite. Okay. I'm not helping you undress after this, because I'm still going to feel all sexual in my loins, but my brain's going to be like, no, dude, this girl just broke our heart. But my dick's going to be like, yeah, but we're trying to spread this seed. And it's going to be very hard for me to decide which one to do. Then if you start like taking the lead, I might be halfway into it before I realize I don't want to, and at that point I might as well finish, because I don't want regret and blue balls stacked on top of each other.
I'm gonna need you to come out here and get me. Just when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna be in the car.
This is also the fucked up thing about situations like this. She says no to your proposal, and now you gotta leave your own house. That's his family's house. Why does she get to stay? Make her find a way to leave. She said no. Man. I don't know if I've ever actually known somebody who proposed and got told no. Or anybody who was proposed to and said no. That was always one of those things I felt like... Maybe not everybody's this way. But like in school... By the time I asked a girl if she wanted to go to a dance or something like that, I was really fucking confident that she was gonna say yes. It was never just a shot in the dark. So I imagine, I mean, I'm married, and I felt the same way before I asked my wife to marry me. It's just... He must have really thought she was gonna say yes. So this is pre-proposal? It's gotta be. He's a bit over the top with it. Like, he's almost kind of clingy, like wants to consume her. We don't get a lot of development of their prior relationship, but I just get that feeling. I just love you so much. I just want to be around you 24 hours a day. Oh, this is the proposal. I didn't realize this was in the movie. I remember the day I met my wife, but I honestly can't remember like the first instant I saw her. If I'm being honest. We worked together. She was leaving and I was coming in, and we had an interaction on the outdoor patio area. But I don't remember, like, the second I saw her. I don't remember what we talked about either. I remember thinking that she was cute and that I wanted to talk to her, but not really. Look at that tub of Bluebell ice cream that's brand new. Did you have to go stock the fridge and shit to stay here? What is this Western-themed rental cabin you got? How many separate bottles of champagne did he need stashed throughout? Like, really? There's another one that's unopened sitting on the table in a container of ice. See, this is one thing I don't play. If we have, like, a disagreement or a fight or something, I need my space afterwards. You can't just act like everything's cool 10 minutes later. That's not how... If it was a small thing, maybe, but... I've known people who literally they will go from blah, 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 like sharp and then the very next sentence 1 second later is something like, hey, look at this, isn't this cool? You're like, fuck you, bitch. You were just trying to tear my head off. Now you want to be all buddy?
Please.
You already bodied that other bottle of champagne? Or did he carry that? I'm trying to remember if that was on the table before when it showed it or not. Because when he grabbed just a bottle out of the bathroom, he didn't grab the whole, whatever the fuck the extra thing is that keeps it cold.
Clothes are in the bedroom if you want.
That weird goblet looking thing. Nobody ever puts this ice cream away, by the way. It just sits there on the table. I wonder if it's got some kind of weird chemical shit, government experiment keeps it from melting. It's actually cottage cheese.
You want to eat it now?
Well, you break up. If she doesn't want to get married now, do you think it's gonna, like, this is gonna be a major division in your relationship? You're gonna wonder why. She's gonna wonder if she made a mistake. Granted, it does take a lot of fucking balls to say no to something like that. And then to sit here in this awkwardness and exist in your own skin in this moment. The fact that there was no foresight on the cigarettes, though, give me a break. I'm a smoker. I can't. My wife lets herself run out of cigarettes. She'll get down, oh, I only have 2 cigarettes left. It's like you just got home from work 45 minutes ago. You passed at least 7 places that sell cigarettes on your way home. We live in a pretty urban area. Don't come and start rubbing my shoulders and shit unless you want to get hate fucked. I will make you love me. I'll fuck you till you love me. Oh. See, this is... Are you going to try to glue it back on, or are we just ripping the Band-Aid? Because if we're ripping the Band-Aid, this isn't the move. This is just... You... Do they fuck? Oh, no, it gets interrupted. That's right. I wonder if they would have gotten back together if this little interaction here hadn't been... Is this just like some friendly goodbye sex, or is he going to get her pregnant and then they have to get married? Oh, it's so good. This movie does the best job of trying to capture, like, a Halloween-style slasher feel in the modern age. Like, other than the golden era of horror, like the late 70s, early to mid 80s, nothing even comes close ever, except for this. This is like the only one that I can think of. Maybe that's naive, and after I get done recording, I'm going to think of like 17 other ones, but really that's all that comes to mind. Like, we don't have a lot of great slasher style movies in the last 20 years, but this was one. And of course, I'm leaving out the newest Halloween from 2018, which was a good entry. I hope they get a little bit more ballsy with the next one. Why didn't he try to screw the bulb in while she was standing right in front of him?
Yeah.
Did he think it was going to be disrespectful if he touched his own porch light in front of her? And apparently they're like Christmas lights where if you unscrew one, two of them don't work, because there's a porch light on the other side also. This fucking guy. You just have a wooden chair on your porch? Does it never rain there? I'm from Oregon. Nobody would do that shit. That chair would be falling apart in a few days. Grandma'd go to sit on it and end up on her ass. See, there's that ice cream still sitting there. Somebody put away the fucking ice cream. Dude, you forgot to light the candle that's sitting right next to you. Or did your smoldering put it out? How fucking dare you? You're out at the moment? You didn't even tell me when you were smoking your last one? You got 2 fucking feet. You got a driver's license. Oh, we can still hang out and go out on dates. Yeah, with my fucking money. I need you to write down on paper what the dynamic of our relationship is now so that I can determine if I'm responsible for purchasing you cigarettes moving forward. I think you might be on your own, babe. That fire ain't gonna burn for shit. He put 2 pieces of newspaper in there and then 3 logs. No kindling, no teepee, no airflow. See, he's not real, like, kind of, he's got a masculine look to him. He looks like he could be fucking 007 Captain America had a kid. But maybe he's a little soft. I'm getting this feeling that he's a little bit of a bitch. And that's fine. He's allowed to do that. Got him murdered, but, you know, I'm not going to criticize his choices. They were his to make. And she chose not to marry him. Homie's just been pounding bottles of champagne. Now he's going to drive to get her cigarettes. In full anger mode. I mean, I get the wanting to drive in anger mode. He's not even the smoker, though. I would be on the freeway, chain smoking cigarettes with my speakers on blast, bumping angry shit. I'd probably be rapping along to Atmosphere, honestly. Bitch, you got me fucked up by G-Eazy. That's what I would be. Bitch, you got me fucked up. Bitch, you got me fucked up. Did they not think we would notice that there was 2 porch lights? Or are they trying to pass off that when you unscrew one, both of them go out? 'Cause I can't... No, don't you dare. We're not playing house. You like the merchandise? You buy first. You don't get to try the shit on. You're gonna get that shit stuck on your finger. He's gonna come home, you're gonna be dead wearing the ring, and he's gonna think you said yes. It's gonna be some tragic Romeo and Juliet thing. He's gonna kill himself. You're gonna wake up because you really didn't die. You just had your period and passed out. And he thought you died. And then you see that he's dead, and then you kill yourself, and it's this weird circular tragedy. Take the ring off. You're just gonna... You're just gonna walk around the house wearing my grandmother's ring from the Holocaust? They gave out rings at the Holocaust? Is that a Corona? I drank a few of those earlier. Might be why I'm a little loosey-goosey. She didn't put a lime in that bitch or nothing. Wonder if she dips. Oof. See, this is when it gets even scarier because he's out of the picture and you would think that she's the more vulnerable one. She definitely is on her own. As a pair, they're obviously going to be more formidable. My wife won't even watch this movie with me. This is like her worst fear in the world. That and shower scenes. She can't stand it when somebody gets attacked in the shower. It's like her biggest fear. I'm pretty sure she doesn't shower unless I'm home.
Hello?
I don't shower unless I'm home either, so I kind of get it.
You already came by here.
Is Tamara home? I wonder how they settled on Tamara, because it does have that perfect ring to it. Is Tamara home? It just sounds creepy. But it wouldn't if it was like, is Barbara home? I don't think it sounds the same. Is Kelly home? Is Shlomo home? Is Liv home? She's got a little bit of tricep definition going on there. She looks like she's been working out. I mean, this is a solid, like, what, 12 years after Armageddon? She barely looks like she's gotten older. I haven't seen her modern day. I forget that everybody else gets older, too. All these girls that were, like, the hot shit movie stars of my adolescence are now, like, into their 40s or 50s. It's like, wait, what happened to my life? I still have you in my mind as the... Oh, somebody closed the dampener. Do you even know how to fix that? She does. Solid. Oh, but the smoke detector going off. You must be cooking again. You need to stop the smoke from billowing into the house before you worry about turning the smoke detector off. I gotta turn this shit down. My dog's gonna start freaking out. My wife's gonna come out and think I'm cooking meth. Yeah, that's battery powered. It would still be going off. She didn't push the button. Something about a forceful knock, too. You could indicate so much about your intentions just with your knock. Did the battery fall out? What's the fucking explanation for that not working anymore? Oh, flip phones. If it was the modern day, you could just FaceTime and be like, or live stream on, just live stream on Facebook. Hey, I think I might get murdered, so I'm just gonna look into the camera here. If you guys see anything happen, call 911. Thanks. They probably don't even have internet there. I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe no cell service. Yeah, they got cell service. She was just carrying around an uncharged cell phone. How often do you go to check your phone and it's just completely dead? Has that ever happened to you in your entire life? Maybe once or twice by accident, like you thought you plugged it in and you didn't. The cat kicked the cord loose. I don't have a cat. Fuck cats. Thought she was wearing like some little boy underwear there at first, but it was just a weird design in the angle it was at. Are you wearing his shirt? No, that's your shirt. It seems like a girl cut. They managed to cut the phone lines while she was talking to him. They have a great sense of timing. You don't deserve to wear that pearl snap shirt. That shit off. You ever loaded bales of hay onto a truck? That fucking ice. Oh, Jesus. Oh, he got me. I knew it was coming and it still got me. It's very Michael Myers like. It's like almost like they were trying to do a Michael Myers movie without the rights. Just get as close as they could to their take on a Michael Myers movie. It's pretty fucking close. Especially this dude and the way he appeared out of the darkness there. That ice cream is still on the table. That's what I was going to say. That fucking table's going to be ruined. And I get that this is scary for us, but the strangers, this trio, they seem to get off on terrifying people, kind of stringing them along, prolonging it, and watching the horror and the terror build. They have those metal fucking burner covers. I used to have those when I was a kid. So him being in the house in that moment doesn't seem like it works for the audience and cinematically, but it seems like storyline wise that they wouldn't take that risk, because if she would have turned around and seen him, there would have been a confrontation right then, and they would have had to have a resolution. Is he gonna run from her and try to get far? Like, what's the interaction gonna be there? Then again, depending on how deep you want to take it, and we don't know like if they're able to see in any of the windows and they're trying to keep tabs on her comings and goings. Maybe he wanted to come in so that he could break her phone, just to have that added level of terror. I wanted to say level of terror and it came out lair. That's understandable. Or it's the smoke detector. He picked up the smoke detector and put it on the chair. He should have just put the battery back in the motherfucker. Speaking of which, when she went over and knocked that down off the ceiling, you could still see smoke billowing into the room from the fireplace. That took care of itself. And her cell phone stolen. I guess so. They had him come into the house to steal her phone and put the thing on the chair, because if she had her phone, the whole thing becomes a lot less believable, right? Find a weapon. How's your instinct not to? Oh, you have that knife. Are you willing? That's pretty down and dirty. You want to get face to face with a motherfucker? You gonna get within a foot and stab somebody? It's probably not a bad idea, because you can at least swing it quick. If you got a big ass heavy bat or something, you're gonna miss. They're gonna snap your neck. It's not gonna be good. Your stylist is gonna have a hell of a time making you look good with a sideways neck. God damn. How did he know that she was walking up to that window? I guess they were making a commotion out there, trying to draw her to the window. Did she just knock into that? When did that music start playing? I don't have it up loud enough that I can follow along with it that well, because I don't want it to leak over Oh, I turned it down during the fire alarm. God damn it. Turned it down when the smoke detector was going off because I didn't want to listen to it, and I forgot to turn it back up. So now we're at appropriate recording volume. At least what has gotten me by the majority of the time I've done these. You hiding under the bed like Macaulay fucking Culkin? They'll never look for you under there. Oh, that always works when you yell go away. Why don't you yell fuck you? Fuck you! You're an asshole. You used to see that in sports. Like, you start beating somebody, and even if you're not talking shit to them, and they would get an attitude, fuck you. Scoreboard, bro. Fuck you. Saying fuck you to me isn't gonna make it so you win. You beat me. Off. Scott Speedman? Scott Speedman? Scott Speedman? Oh my god, I'll marry you. There has to be some level of communication between these strangers. There's like a lookout, and they're doing a bird chirp or some cricket noise, or they got Nextel. They're coordinating this somehow, because otherwise it's working out way too conveniently. If there's an implied level of communication between them, but that goes unspoken, rather than this stuff all miraculously happening in this order, then that's better for me. Otherwise, it's just all a little too convenient. They all dissipate right when he arrives. They're right at the window when she's there. He knows to walk in right when she has her back turned and is looking the other direction. Like, it's all a little bit contrived. But still plays way more terrifying than almost any movie pulls off. To me. I can creep myself out watching this shit alone in the dark with just a candle, wearing only a cock ring, with my wild cherry Diet Pepsi and my blackjack gum. I may or may not be doing that at this very moment. I'm just kidding. There's no cock ring, and I'm drinking coffee. I do have blackjack gum, but I haven't opened it. I found it at a store and I bought it only because I'm a fan of the movie Pump Up the Volume. And that was the only time that I've ever heard of the brand blackjack gum. And this one time I saw it at the store was the only time I've ever seen it. So I bought it and put it up on my little souvenir shelf. It's stupid, I know. But it's for stuff that is important to me, not you. This is all getting very personal. Oh no, we're there in the room with wooden ducks and boxes. My great-grandma had one of these rooms. So many wooden ducks. Somebody back in the day made a lot of money in the wooden duck business. Like this right here. How does she know that they're going to be looking out of that window? It does not look like a ghost. It looks like a girl standing there wearing a mask. More like a scarecrow, maybe, or a statue, but not a ghost. She's not the least bit transparent. Allow me to make myself perfectly fucking clear. Now you can see through me. How's that for transparency? Oh, I should have tried out for James Bond. That's what he's thinking. I wish I was a little bit older. I wish I was a little bit older. See, 2 porch lights, 2 wooden chairs. No banjo. What the fuck, Karen? Why are the headlights on? You have the keys. Now they're not? You weren't a little bit suspicious they were gonna fuck with your vehicle? Come on. I guess he wasn't really buying it yet, was he? He thinks she's the crazy one. But all they want to know is if Tamara's home. Have you even answered that? You've told him, like, you're at the wrong house, go away, weren't you just here, leave us alone. But have you just said, Tamara's not fucking here? He's gonna try to drive it anyway. See, there's gotta be some Nextel fucking, where you at, Boost Mobile shit going on. Because as soon as he tries to leave, the truck's gonna pull up from behind. Okay, this is some bullshit right here. She touches his neck, and by the time he turns around, she's nowhere to be seen. Give me a fucking break. Ninja, vanish! Did you hear that kind of like bird call noise? That might be kind of what I'm talking about. They have some kind of a thing worked out. Some kind of a strategery. Does she look like a ghost now, you fucking dipshit?
Get the fuck out of here.
She looks like PJ Souls in a mask. Your dad's reunion tour didn't go as planned. Wonder if her and her dad share clothes. Seems like they have a very similar wardrobe. At least like blouses. I think she's bigger than he is. He seems like a slight, small man. I wish he had a little bit more oomph to him. He's just kind of passively letting all this shit happen. What if you went and got your... I almost called her your wife. My bad. What if you went and got that girl that doesn't love you anymore, and you just each grabbed a huge knife and you start walking? You've got open space in every direction. You're going to see them coming and give yourself a fighting chance. Or barricade yourself in here and wait it out. Like, come up with some kind of a plan. This meandering around, like, half posturing so that you can go tell her that you checked the perimeter. Like, what are you hoping to accomplish right now? Convenient that there's no windows on the door or around the door either. No peephole. People all over the world. People, oh you people, can't you see? Can't you see? No, we can't because there's no people. People? People. People? People. I feel like we're saying the same thing. Deserve ain't got shit to do with it. I know that. I've never seen a wild thing feel sorry for itself. That's what he should have said to her. Do you think a deer asks itself why a wolf is hunting it? Or do you think it just runs and tries to survive? Do fish ever wonder why a shark is trying to eat them? No, they just try to get the fuck out of there. Yeah. Okay, now they're going to try to drive out. So this is what I mean where there's got to be some communication going on. This is like some military operation shit. They've got some signals and bird calls. As soon as they get in the car, this fucking truck's going to come from around the corner That truck couldn't see them. There's no fucking way. And why does he just sit here and take it? What do you think they're gonna do? Oh no, she has a mask on that makes her stronger and more dangerous than a regular person. That dude wasn't in any type of vehicle or anything. You could have thrown it in drive and ran his ass over before she mollywopped you with that beautiful classic Ford truck. Back door was open? Man, how you get that?
James, we need a gun.
No shit, Sherlock?
Kristen, I'm looking. One time as a kid, I was hitting.
Oh. I vaguely remember my dad having a firearm. I never was one to support the right to bear arms, so it was kind of a bit of a sticking point in our relationship, matter of contention, and but I'll try to use it. So we don't know as an audience at this point unless you've seen it before, but there are 3 of them. So again, the coordination. They go outside, somebody comes in the back door and writes hello in lipstick all over the inside of the window. They get back there, the outside, like I do see flaws in the writing and just being a little too convenient. Unless they have Nextel cell phones. Am I right or am I right? That's the missing piece of this equation, is the where you at? And you know they're not black because they'd be on speakerphone. Just like the Boost Mobile commercials. That was a bit creepy. The lights on my coffee machine just turned off right when I looked out in the kitchen. It was a little bit too synchronistic. I just walked over to see where I left my phone. I'm recording a podcast on it. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Oh no. Oh, okay. Whew. I had an email on the account that's linked to this YouTube, and I was worried that a decision had been made on my Shining video and it had actually been taken down while I was recording this. That would have been coincidental, huh? Or as Alanis Morissette thinks, ironic. And they go with the Baghead, which is great. I mean, it plays very well, but it is a bit of a ripoff. It's part Michael Myers, part original Jason Voorhees, and then almost like a little hint of Joker. It's not truly original like the Scream mask or the Jason mask, or, you know, it's definitely derivative of what came before it as far as a stereotypical terrifying male presence. The business suit's a nice touch, though. He looks like he's going to church in the 50s. Well, I climbed in my blind and I hunted all night long, wondering just why together we don't belong. Oh, I'm not a tremendous fan of country music, I'll be honest. I like me some Johnny Cash, a little bit of other things scattered about, some old Garth Brooks. Mostly No Country for me. No Country for Old Men.
Yo. Jimmy James. What's up, buddy? It's Mike. Listen, man, I'm outside.
I don't give a fuck what your name is.
I just decided to come out.
Oh, that's right. It's Glenn. It's Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia making a rare film appearance. Okay. Who has this happen to them and just decides to get out and stroll around and have a look-see? Why doesn't he beat feet the fuck out of there? I would have squealed tires leaving that driveway and called 911. Like, what is he doing? This is one of the more what the fuck moments in the whole movie, is this friend's decision. He doesn't, like, the car is all beat to shit. He can't get a hold of his friends. He makes no attempt to call for help or anything. He's just like, yeah, seems normal. They must have gotten into another argument again, those kids and their domestic abuse. Oh, Jimmy put the loud records on again. He must be torturing his wife. What it is, bruh. Somebody walks in the middle of this song and restarts the record, too. Okay, here's the other part. I get that the music's playing loud, but it's coming from a source. And you would hear a voice or something interfering with that or over that. But I'm curious to see, I've never paid attention to, does he actually speak after he enters the house? Because if he was outside the house talking, I would understand how they didn't hear him. And if he doesn't speak once he steps in the house, why the fuck does... Outside, he's, hey, you guys okay? Hello, Jimmy? Steps inside, dead silent. They wanted to have a moment where he accidentally shoots his friend in the face, but they kind of forced getting there. He hasn't made a sound. So I thought that the Jimmy Jam, Scott Speedman was the dipshit for shooting his friend. But now I'm thinking that Dennis is the menace because he decided to not make a peep after he got in the house. No indications that he's there. See, this following him with the axe and sneaking up, that doesn't serve the purpose of scaring their victim, which seems to be what they get off on. That's just audience service. And I like it. It's creepy. But it doesn't quite fit in with their motive and their operating. Like, it doesn't seem to be exactly logical why they would do that. Using the twisted sense of logic that these people are operating under, of course. Old Baghead's like, oh fuck, gotta get the shit out of here. Like, I wonder if Baghead went outside to have a cigarette and stare off into the distance and think about how that could have been him. He took my place. Took a bullet for me. Is it him? Is it him or not? I don't know. I don't know. Get a dentist to meet me there in half an hour. I turned 21 in prison, doing life without parole. God damn it, that song is catchy. Mama tried, mama tried. Shiloh, when I was young, I used to call your name. So what's the new plan? You're still in just as much danger as you were. Now you've blown away, literally, any hope of rescue you had. Doesn't your friend have a phone? Dig in his pocket for his phone. See, I wish I could watch it without asking myself these questions now. My eyes gotten a little bit too stringent. Fuck. I enjoyed this movie more before I saw the holes. That sounded... That just made me remember the first time I saw, like, legitimate porn. Like dicks and vaginas, girls' buttholes. Before that, all my exposure was just, like, softcore shit on Cinemax or HBO, where it was mainly just tits and a little bit of bush and some ass. You never really saw lips or anything like that. No dicks, no insertion. It's just mostly like a Playboy in motion. So then the first time I saw a girl riding a dude, and it's like, there's his balls, and there's her vagina, and what's that little balloon knot looking thing? I'm kind of grossed out, but my dick's hard as a diamond. I don't understand. It's like I'm enjoying this movie until I see all the holes. Got him. Thank you for sharing in that breakthrough with me. That old stroll down memory lane. I turned 34 in Texas, doing life on Border Patrol. It's shot very well, the way it's lit and everything. I mean, of course, they never make their... You would think the victims wouldn't be walking around such a dimly lit place. Oh, I forgot this part where he decides to have his fucking crusade over to the barn. You got a gun, dude. Just go shoot that bitch. To your knowledge, they don't have a gun. They just have axes and shit. Oh, now you're fucked. Wow. He can't perform under the pressure. At its core, let's be honest, what is a woman looking for in a man? She's looking for somebody that she can count on when the wolves are at the fucking door. And obviously her instincts were correct, because the wolves are at the door and she can't really count on this guy. He's not doing a great job. He just left her there by herself so that he could fuck around in the leaves, make snow angels. She's out here. She still doesn't have any cigarettes. The flower pots are empty, just like her heart. Joker face Jason is gonna chop her up before he heads to church. What do you want from me? Why are you doing this? Then again, I've never been almost murdered, so maybe you just can't think of anything else to say in that moment. Maybe it's instinctual. Maybe you don't even realize you're saying it. This is the smartest thing she's done the whole time. She senses him sneaking up behind her and just fucking bolts. You guys could have... Oh my god. Between the two of you, you got 4 left feet. couldn't catch a cold, couldn't fight your way out of a paper bag. Can't run away from your own shadow. I guess that's true. The fuck was that noise? So he was sneaking up on her, right? So he should have seen her run away and know exactly where she is. How does she just kind of scamper off on her own and nobody seems to pursue her? The way they just triangulated him. Oh, there she is. Never mind. I'd tangle with one of these weird doll-faced bitches. If I win, I get to fuck them. If they're a willing participant, of course. I have a feeling I would do so well in the fight that I would make them want to fuck me. How about that? I'll become their new leader. Call me Jim Jones of this bit. No, don't call me that. Yep, they've been chasing after you with your own fucking axe. You didn't realize you had a shed full of weapons over here, did you? By the way, the people who have never been there before, they thought to make use of your tool shed full of weapons. But you guys, nah. We'll stay in the house and wonder if there's a gun. How did you... You have a flashlight. What are you pointing it at that you didn't see the fucking wheelbarrow in front of you? I'm still confused about how you got away and got into this barn. This only makes sense if they want you in here. She was right there. She saw you and you have a flashlight. That's like a beacon. Let's say you're saying, here I am. I'm right here. No sense. And now she all of a sudden notices the only area in the entire room that's lit up. That would have stood out. It would have been like, come on. When you're in a completely dark place and there's one source of light, your eyes are immediately drawn to it. You can't even help yourself. It's like a predator-prey type thing. It's like detecting motion. It's a difference. It's something that you note. So the idea that she just came around the corner and it was like, oh. Breaker 19. Breaker 19. It's the Titanic, sir. We've hit an iceberg. Bleeding Christ. Use your daredevil skills and track her body based off of her voice. Is she part dolphin or something? There's like a can of spray paint or something right there. You can fuck a bitch's eyes up. It's something. But this just... I don't know how you didn't know that they would know you were in here. She watched you. Come on, Liv. What's the plan? Are you even gonna pick up an implement so you can hit Chrissy? The package hit Chrissy with an implement.
Can you hear me?
No, now you're fucked. They knew you were in there before. Now they know exactly where you're at. That is really good choices for masks because they're like kind of that classic cutesy doll look, but using them in this context makes them creepy. I like it. I want to call it original, but it clearly copies a lot of kind of blueprints or styles that have been used in the past. It's like it's like Scream without the phone, or like Michael Myers, but with working as a team, like 3, and a little bit more interacting and fucking around. It's like a happy medium between those, just not quite as well written as either one. But as I've said before, a damn sight better than almost everything else of the sort since then. Like Scream, I think, is almost too new to be considered a horror classic, but it definitely is. It's one of the best slasher films there is. And before Scream, there was a pretty big gap before anything that great. And since Scream, there's been almost nothing that great. I think much of it's already been done, and we live in a world now that is just encompassed in safety. We have all these security measures and tracking devices and smartphones and Ring doorbells with cameras and motion detection this and alarm system that. It all just gets a lot harder to pull off plausibly. Now the car is on fire. It wasn't out of commission before, but now it is. That's what made you cry, is they set the car on fire. She doesn't give a fuck about where Jimmy is. She just wanted to ride his coattails out of here. She's gonna find a new husband, one that can protect her from people like this. She's gonna marry some John Cena Marine motherfucker. She's gonna marry the real James Bond. That ice cream is still on the fucking table. Oh, it's on a plate. Ooh, I see you. It's ruined, that's for sure. That's expensive ice cream, too. You wasted that ice cream when a teenager could have opened it at the supermarket and taken a lick out of it and put it back. Jesus. You wonder why there's hunger and starvation in this country. And the world. And the world. United top flight security of the world, Craig. Daddy, how I look? Like a damn snitch. Come with me if you want to live. I like the way it's lit for the creepy factor, but you have to ask yourself why nobody's ever turned the lights on. Once you know that they're like coming in and out, or is the power cut? I might be an idiot. I think you're gonna need a new front door. How is the plan at no point been run? I guess you're gimped up now. I got my second leg, Gimp. Got my second leg. Ooh. Jump on his back and try to choke him. Do something. I don't like this Pac-Man shit where you're afraid to get near him because you think you might get ghosted. Oh! Find a piece of fruit so you can chomp them. Oh, shit. Again, the idea that the... Oh, she's not in there? I thought that one of the killers was hiding in here. I might be tripping. I'm thinking of the sequel where she climbs into the pipe on the playground. And the girl's already in there. Do you think they're not gonna look in the pantry and in the closet? Like, in a house, there's only so many places that something the size of a person can hide. You got your closets, you know, under beds, pantries. There's not a lot of options. So the way that he just looked knowingly at that probably is an indication that he knows that you're in there. Because where else would you be? He's gonna eat your ice cream. Well, he would if it wasn't fucking ruined. I totally overestimated your housekeeping skills. That was a weird, like, moment of prep he had there before the final countdown. It's like they're not ready for it to end yet. It's like he sat there and contemplated if he was going to try to get her out of the closet or if they were going to come up with another... Oh, shit. I guess he went and hollered at Homegirl. He didn't want it to seem like too sexist, so he's like, let's do this female on female. She still hasn't told her if Tamara's home. Don't you dare, you fucking bitch. My fey-ass ex-boyfriend was gonna marry me with that ring, and I told him no, so you better not touch it, because it's not even really mine, but it feels like it is. Your hair looks like shit, and your face looks fat. Pick up that knife. Come see me about it. You might be a girl, but you could still catch a fade. It's a spatula, isn't it? Because you were home. The first time I heard that, I was like, ooh, that's chilling. That's so creepy. But it didn't age well for me. The more I've heard it, the more I'm like, yeah, it's kind of cheesy. And the more I've thought about it, there's a lot of movies and circumstances where shit just happens to people because they were the ones home, or they were the ones that got stumbled upon. But they wanted to leave it motiveless, which is also very few of these movies ever pull off leaving the killers without motive, like a Halloween from 1978 did, or like this did. And that, I think that like increases the creepy factor or the scariness like tenfold when you really don't know why it's happening, because it feels a lot more like it could happen to you. If it's clearly defined and you're like, well, I would never get myself in this situation, or then it's harder for you to remove yourself from it. Or easier. I don't know. Don't listen to me. I talk like I know what I'm talking about. But this is all just fun. Oh, they cut the power on. They don't cut the power off or cut the power on. You either pay your bill or you don't. Oh, he paid your bill and now he's here to collect. That's all it took? He just gave her like a real quick throw into the ropes and she's unconscious? The way that movies handle unconscious people always bothers the shit out of me. People get clubbed in the head once and they're out cold for, well, no, okay, this is more appropriate. She's coming to fairly quickly. Glenn Howerton's fucked. Sure, get blood on as many separate walls as you can, so when we turn this house over, we have to paint every single one. No respect. Yeah, claw up the floor too, so that we have to refinish it. Jesus. You're already gonna die. Don't devalue the house further. Farther's further than farther. Whatever, Pew Mayman. This is the icing on the cake for me. The ending really hammered it home. They to this point have done a pretty damn good job with this horror film. And then this sick, twisted, absolutely cold-hearted ending. Like, it just caps it. It's just really makes it one of the better films. It paid off in a way for me that left me feeling like, Jesus Christ. And the way that they have them just go off into the distance, there's really no evidence of who they are or that they were there, and nobody's pursuing them that we know of, and they could just bounce from house to house and keep doing this, and you don't know why they're doing it. And they're gonna look you in your face and just stab you to death while you're tied in a chair. I don't know. I just think that if the ending hadn't paid off this way and been this fucking sinister, it wouldn't have had the staying power as a film that it does. And you get to see what all this, like, this is the end. They wanted to terrify them all night. Now it's daytime, the sun's up, and they're gonna look them in the eye and watch them die. She just realized that they're gonna kill them because they showed her their faces. They wouldn't show you their faces unless there was no possibility that you would recognize them in the future. They know our names, now we have to kill them. That old ass carpet. You needed to replace that carpet anyway, bro. It's a little bit of blood. My mom's gonna be so mad. She gonna say you don't have to do this? Yeah, they want to do this. What do you mean have to? This isn't some type of marching order. Nobody's holding a gun to their head telling them to do it. They want to do it, clearly. Nobody would do this unless they wanted to. Stabbed him first and made her watch. Yikes. That's some deep shit right there. Like, you guys tell me, do you think this is hard to sit through? It's not for me, but I could see how it would be for people. Like, my wife would have never gotten to this part of the movie, but if she did, when we got here, she would have been like, nope, I get it, I'm done. Not gonna go take a shower. I'm gonna go out and smoke with all the fucking spotlights in the neighborhood on. So during the nighttime, we got the impression that this was a pretty rural place. But then these two fucking kids come riding up on bikes. What type of a range are these kids covering on their bikes, handing out pamphlets? Let's say he is risen or whatever the hell. Have you heard the good news? Bless their hearts. Hey, we're on our way to being season 1 of Dexter. Can we have some reading material? Dexter? Dexter Morgan. Yeah. Christian living. Do they think that it's some type of mystery to people who aren't Christians how Christians live? Do you think it's some big secret, and once people find out about it, they're going to be like, oh shit, okay. Thought you guys were just crazy, but I didn't know anything about you. The truck used to be blue. They don't actually show the kids going in there, do they? Because that's kind of fucked up. Make kids that young have to see that murder scene, even if it is fake. I think it would still fuck with you. You still actually saw it. Oh, they do go in there. All the blood stains. And hi, Myrtle. Yeah, I've been out here talking for well over an hour. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't just get home. I didn't just wake up. Thanks. Bye. Feel free to take your backpack off, dude. You'll be able to maneuver better. This is one thing I hated when I was a kid. It was trying to run with a fucking backpack on. I never wised up and got one with like a chest strap that helps keep that bitch down. So you start running and it starts bouncing up and hitting you in the back. Pow, 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 pow. You get this weird momentum. Look at how upset these kids are at the condition of this house. That used to be a nice dining room table. We gotta finish off with one cheap jump scare that I didn't need. She's alive enough to do that, but she doesn't survive. Now, is the sequel supposed to be a prequel? I've never bothered to look into that. I know that as far as just kind of horror movies in general are concerned and slasher sequels, The Strangers Prey at Night isn't bad. But I was very disappointed. It wasn't what I thought it could have been. But we'll talk about that another time, because obviously this was the original Strangers, and it's now over, and we're looking at this rip-off Halloween font here. No trademark score or anything. It's actually almost dead silent. They really wanted you to sit with that feeling that the end gave you. I didn't like that jump scare. Yeah, so that was The Strangers. I feel like I ranted and rambled, and I don't know. We'll see how it turned out. I'll give it a little listen while I'm making the video, because I kind of have to so that I can coordinate the images. So, nonetheless, I appreciate you guys sticking through it. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. Check it out on all the platforms, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify. You can Google it, Facebook, Instagram, Avarice Podcast. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.